Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's video is another recommendation video because with my uploads being less frequent, I have more time to read and I have more time to do more recommendations. I'm definitely prioritizing rec videos over any kind of videos, and honestly, those are the ones that are coming easiest to me right now, so I was like, why not do another recommendation video? This is another one of those videos that have just been on my list for so long and I've wanted to do them, so I'm finally fucking doing them. This is one of my favoriteest tropes. I love everybody in the world but you, and it's always been you combination will do it for me every single fucking time. These, I find they are just like the fastest books that will give me butterflies. And butterflies to me are just like, it's exciting, it's memorable, it's like I can really feel the love, I can feel the tension for sure, and just like everything. And that always comes with this trope. Like it's the top trope that will give me that instantly. So yeah, when a couple has like always felt a connection and it's always come back to that person, like everything just comes back to that one person, Jesus, that's like, oh, unbeatable. That's like the love that everybody dreams of. So yeah, in a book, it's just like so pretty, so beautiful, so heartfelt, and there's always emotions. So yeah, one of my favorite tropes. I have some awesome recommendations for this because these are true, it's always been you kinds of recommendations, like true, okay? I've been creating this list for a long time and I fully believe all of these are true. So yeah, let's get into my very curated list of recommendations. But before we do, I just wanted to thank you all so much for your support. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated for all my next videos. So the first book that I want to recommend is Hail Mary by Candy Steiner. This is not a very me kind of book. This is a college sports romance. So this is not my usual dark mafia romance, but I fucking loved this book. This is part of the Red Zone Rebels or Rivals series. And yeah, they're all like college level. They aren't very dark, but they're so fucking fun. They're like such a contrast from what I normally read, and I think that's why I really enjoyed them, is because sometimes you do need to go to the light side, and this was one of those times. So this follows Leo and Mary. They first met when they, I think, were like 10, 12, something like that, and they met online. They gamed together for like an entire summer. They developed like an online friendship, and you know, when you get to that certain point, and when you're just like, oh, so where do you live? Like, you wait a little bit so it's not fucking creepy, but once you're like that close, you're like, oh, so where do you live? Like, da-da-da-da. And turns out they live in the same town and they go to the same school. Leo hasn't quite figured that out yet, but Mary has. And so I think their first year of high school or something, Mary walks up and is about to say like, oh, I'm da-da-da-da from like the summer we spent together. You're my best friend. You like, it's me, like in person. And she goes up to say that, and she says something, she doesn't reveal her whole plans, but she says something tiny, and he just like shuts her down. And she's just like, what the fuck? Did our friendship mean nothing? Did our connection mean nothing? And she gets kind of like mad. So she's like, they don't repair that bridge. We'll just say that. Flash forward like 10 years later, they're in college and they still think about that one friend that they made that they just like had such a connection with back like 10 summers ago. Mary is quite aware of who he is, but Leo, not quite. He never really made that connection, but Mary has, and so she's got a vendetta against him. Unfortunately, they're in the same friend group. They don't hang out a lot, but they're forced to hang out a lot and be in the same area as each other. And Mary gets kicked out of her dorm apartment, and she has to find somewhere to stay, and he's like, oh, why don't you stay with us? Because he's always like liked annoying her and liked fucking with her because he has a thing for her. And she's just like, absolutely not, there's no way. It ends up where she has to move in with them for a few months, and they just grow so much closer, and the steam and tension of that is fucking incredible. It's literally amazing. And they start to develop feelings for each other. They start to have a bit of a relationship, and they're talking again because they started off with this fucking amazing connection that neither of them forgot. And then they realize, or he realizes, should I say, like, oh my god, this is that best friend that I made like so many summers ago, like the one that I've always thought about, that's always in the back of my mind. So shit was so cute, and like, yeah, just such a, not a meet cute, but you know when that's something like fun and cheesy and cute. It wasn't cheesy or cringy in a bad way. It was cheesy and fun, and I loved reading it. The sports romance part of it too, that's also really there. That's always a vibe. I can't read those all the time, but it's always pretty fun when I read them. And yeah, I really fucking enjoyed this. I truly believe that it was always each other for both of them. They may have been kids and only had like a friendship, but they never forgot about each other. And now that they're older and they're like adults, it can be more. And oh my god, that's so fucking cute to me. Okay, this one, it's always been each other for both of them because it's a fantasy romance and it's literally always been each other. So this is Blood Orange and Black Rose. It's a duet by Karina Halley, and this follows Dracula. So it's a bit of a retelling, and it follows Dracula and the love of his life. Or should I say the loves of his lives? Because, girl, it's fantasy, so they get, like, reincarnated, kind of, and they fall in love. But specifically, in the first book, it follows this one life where he falls in love with Delilah. He's a teacher at her university, and he's mysterious, and he's like, yeah, and she instantly has a thing for him, and they connect, like, on another level, literally on another level, because it's always been each other for all of their lives. Specifically Dracula, though. And you know how, like, Dracula's story, he's, like, heartbroken, he lost his love, he's, like, Dracula, right? Well, this is his happily ever after, and I can't say too much more about it because I'll get into spoilers, but this shit was fun, I'm not gonna lie. There was some parts in the first book specifically that I got a little bit annoyed at, but to me, the second book wrapped it up in a bow and a tie with a happily ever after, and I quite liked it. So, yeah, if you read this, you'll understand everything I mean about it's always been each other for, like, always. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think you're getting what I'm saying here. So yeah, this is like the biggest It's Always Been You book that I've ever read. Another recommendation, very aptly named, Always Been You by QB Tyler. So this follows James and Gabriella, and they are step-siblings. Gabriella is adopted into James' family with open arms, and they kind of slightly grew up together. It's actually Gabrielle. Sorry, I fucked that one up. Gabrielle is 11 years younger than James. So, a little bit forbidden. I would say this borders into taboo because of the age gap and the step-sibling, or like, sorry, not step-sibling, adopted sibling kind of relationship here. So, yeah. But anyway, they were super close growing up. They were like this, and they had a connection, and their family knew it. Like, they had a connection so fucking deep. They were so protective of each other, so caring, always there for one another. And when Gabrielle graduates either high school or college, can't quite remember, it just develops into something more. They're both alone in the same city, so they miss the connection of their family, and they're always reaching out to each other. And Gabrielle's always had a thing for him. He also has, but I mean, he's older, so he's like keeping a lid on it, and that lid just comes straight off when both of them finally fucking make a move. James, obviously being 11 years older, he's had like relationships, but he's always come back to her. He's always prioritized her, always put her first. Gabrielle's been wanting this man for a long ass time, so yeah, definitely always him for her as well. And yeah, this is just one of those steamy, spicy, smutty romances that honestly gave me the feels too, because it was so beautiful. They were very much in love, and they had always loved each other. I firmly believe that. Oh goodness, here's an emotional motherfucker, okay? Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Yo, I read this, I think, last summer. This shit destroyed me. Actually, I just want to touch on this first. It's a perfect summer read. Like, it surrounds something that happened on the 4th of July, and it's a thriller and a bit of a mystery as well, but primarily a romance. Yeah, that shit's perfect for the summer. It's giving, like, beach read. Okay, like, my kind of beach read, but, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I want to talk about, but yeah, this is an emotional motherfucker. This thing tore me apart. So it follows Oliver and Sydney, who are best friends. They grew up together, I think they're neighbors, and they just have a deep, deep fucking connection. It's not romantic because they're so young, but then Oliver gets abducted, and Sydney is just torn up about it. She's like struggling to go on. She never gets her answers until he shows up fucking scarred and tortured. It's like, I think 10 years or something later, 6 years, I don't know. She never got her answers, always remembered him, always felt something for him, and fucking missed him. And he shows up very challenged. He's not the same as he was, and he's struggling a lot. And she is just the most kind, caring, empathetic soul that he needs. And he kind of forgot about her, so he starts to relearn her again. And I don't mean forgot about her like he's like, what the fuck you bitch. He's just gone through so much that like he's struggling to remember his life again, and she is what helps him. And they just redevelop that strong as fuck connection. Some would argue it's attachment issues, but really, who gives a fuck? The level of love in this was next fucking level. It's a emotional heartbreaker. Oh my god, their love is so beautiful, and they've gone through so much, and it's so sweet. Like, this man, oh my god, he's such a cinnamon roll hero. Who the fuck would think I would like that? Like, I read mafia shit, and I loved this book with my whole heart and soul. It gave me the butterflies, something fucking fierce. It was so goddamn sweet, and that's like the only way to describe it. Like, this is a sweet book, really soul moving, and like sweet. There's not a lot of rough, dirty sex in here. It is pretty smutty though. It's just like sweet. Yeah, oh my god, it was really adorable, and I cried a lot. Inked in Lies by Gianna Darling. I just finished a reread of this, and it reminded me of how much I fucking love this book. This follows Casanova and Lila. Everyone calls him Casanova. He's got like fucking 5 names though. They started off as neighbors. Lila lives with her dad and her brother. Her dad is a drug dealer and not a great father, and so eventually she basically just moves in with Nova's family. Her and her brother are just like adopted into their family, and they spend the rest of their childhood together in the Booth family house because Lord knows it's a lot better than their biological family's house. You know you've been filming a long time when your dog comes and just sits and stares at you. I took her for a long walk right before this. You'd think she'd go to sleep. I feel like I'm doing something while 5 people watch me. Go lay down, sweetie. Alright, she's telling me we need to get through this video. Anyway, back to Nova and Lila. They have this fucking big connection. They are also 11 years apart, I think, in age. And so Nova's older. He's in high school, but Lila, when they meet, she's 6. And they instantly have a bond because Lila is in need of a protector and he is her fucking protector. And they have, yeah, an insane bond. And Lila, I think when she starts, like when she goes to high school, when she starts to be older, she just realizes like she's in love with this motherfucker. And Nova kind of knows that. He does, but he's like, he does not believe that he deserves her, and he doesn't want to ruin like their family life, their everything because of her feelings for him. And he's like, oh, I'll ignore my feelings for her because like we can't do that. Okay, buddy. Anyway, fast forward when they're a bit older, I think she's like 21 or something. She observes him doing something with someone. He sees her observing, and it creates a big moment of chemistry. And unfortunately, it doesn't end the way we all wanted it to because he shuts her down. And she never forgot that. So even though they've been in love with each other since like, who knows how long, their whole lives, he shut her down, and she's not going to forget that. Times get desperate, and she feels the need to protect her family. So she puts herself in some desperate situations and pushes his hand into protecting her. And of course that just boils over into everything. So yeah, this is truly a It's Always Been You kind of romance, a very big protector romance. Oh, I love that. And a really fucking strong heroine. And I forgot how poetic this book is. Like, it's truly gorgeous in the way that it's written, the metaphors, the everything. It's fucking phenomenal. And this is a true childhood friends to lovers story. And of course it's I Have Always Loved You and It's Always Been You kind of book. Like, oh, love it. Lastly, I want to recommend It Ain't Me, Babe by, oh my gosh, I was about to say QB Tyler, by Tilly Cole. This is a motorcycle romance. This is the darkest one on this list, I'd say. It's so fucking beautiful. I just feel like that comes with every book you'd get in this trope. Like, it's so fucking beautiful. This follows Salome and Styx. Styx grows up in a motorcycle club. He grows up in that kind of environment, and he's the son of the prez, so, you know, he's got big shoes to fill. But he's stumbling through the woods this one day, and he meets this girl through a fence. And one of them just thinks like, wow, you have the most gorgeous fucking eyes I've ever seen. And I literally think they end up like staring at each other through the fence. And that's when they're like 10 and 12 or something like that. And they literally never forget each other. They go about their lives. Styx becomes prez of the club. Salome actually is in a cult. That's why there was a fence. And she struggles to live life. And their paths cross again. He ends up saving her from this cult because, like, they all fucking needed that. And takes her into his care, kind of. Well, the care of the motorcycle club, and saves her and a large group of her sisters, friends, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I just feel like that was a very defining moment when they saw each other through the fence. They never forgot each other, and specifically something about the eyes. I can't pinpoint exactly what it was, but I just remember them being like, I would recognize those eyes anywhere. So, you know, they never fucking forgot each other. They never fucking forgot each other's eyes. Anyway, it's a beautiful love story, very heartbreaking and very emotional, and also pretty dark as well. It's motorcycle romance, and it's fun like that, but it is pretty dark, so definitely the darker one on this list. Alright everyone, that is the end of today's filming day, the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed all these recommendations. Like I said, this is one of my favorite tropes, so I really hope you guys like this trope too. These books, some of them are literally my fucking favorites of all time, so I'm not saying like you better fucking enjoy them, but y'all better like them. Anyway, thank you so much for your support. As always, you can find all my links, all my socials down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk now, and I hope you all are having a fabulous summer. I'll see you in my next video very soon.